Hi, Forsaken. Yeah, this is frustrating. Hey, Crumpy Old Wiker. Ron, disruption. Yeah, I'm really sorry, y'all. I have terrible internet here. Both my internet service and my Wi-Fi is awful. And I just bought a new router, like, I don't know, a month ago, and it's supposed to fix all my issues. And I was on that network and it died, so now I'm back on the old one. You don't have that fiber net yet? No. I'm on like 30 megabytes a second here. We live kind of in the middle of nowhere. I was chatting to myself on that last stream. That's funny. Yeah, you want to talk about like if I when I go and upload my videos, a lot of those they're pretty much all shot in 1080p, and so they're pretty large files, and like a 30-minute video to get that to upload, I literally will sit and click upload and I just walk away and I'll go do something else. I'll walk back out to the shop or something. It takes forever to upload a video. Yeah, rural internet is fun. We have radio internet here. So a lot of people, I do a lot of work for a guy who owns a radio station, several radio towers, and he also has radio internet for rural folks. Okay, back to where we were. We were talking about choppers and such. I think I got cut off somewhere around how often do folks put them on non-chopped up? Russ, that's actually a good question. You may or may not have seen it. Um, there's a little Evo Sportster. It's a 96 model. That's one of my project bikes. That it's like a flip bike I bought to fix and sell. And it has they're not extended forks, but that has the triple tree. It's got a rake to it. It's like a 5-degree rake, and everything else on the bike is totally stock. Like literally everything else on the bike is totally stock, but somebody put a raked front end on this thing for some unknown reason, and a 21-inch wheel. So I think it'll look pretty cool, but yeah, it's kind of weird. That's still a swing arm bike. It still had turn signals. It still had ignition switch and everything like up on your handlebars. Totally stock engine, and I can't describe why. So as to how often do they do that? At least that one. Yeah, the rake in this is done in the triple tree. That one I'm talking about, it's a Hog Halter is the company who made it, and they sell like a 3 and a 5-degree rake triple tree. So it's all in the triple tree, and the neck is still a factory frame neck. No, that's not the orange one outside. The orange one outside is a 93. That one's totally stock. Do I not like baggers because of the look, or do I not like bagger culture? Yeah, it's normally the neck for a rake. Both. I talked about this some in that I don't like baggers video. I think they're just like super busy, like the way that they look. But a lot of it is the bagger culture. The guys with like the affliction t-shirts and the bedazzled jeans, and there's so many people, at least where I live, who they'll go buy my first Harley, and the first thing they buy is a 900-pound electric glide, and they can't ride. They can't ride a bicycle, never mind a bike, Harley or motorcycle. And then they go ride this thing to the bar on the weekends, and they get drunk, and they're just a loudmouth. And there's so many of those people here. I can't stand them. This is the question that we got cut off on the last stream. It's from Michael Haug, Haugh. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. He says, "What's up with the name Buttcrack Cycle? Sounds like there's got to be a good story behind this." There is. Hey Taylor. Bedazzled jeans. Yeah. Yeah. So the story behind this is this actually came from my Instagram page. At that point in time, my username on Instagram was Buttcrack Pizza, and it was just a stupid phrase, a silly phrase. It wasn't stupid. that my son said. He was probably about 3.5 at the time. And it was just hilarious. He just one day just shouted at Buttcrack Pizza. And so I made that my username, and then I started getting more and more into cycles and motorcycles, and people kind of already knew me over there as the Buttcrack guy. And so I just rolled with it. And I thought about changing the username to that or not, and calling the YouTube channel that or not. And then one day I took a motorcycle for a test ride, and Kenneth was watching me go out the driveway. And I had a t-shirt on. It was like a little bit short, and it kind of blew up in the breeze going up the street. And he goes, "Daddy, when you're riding that motorcycle, your butt crack showing." And I was like, okay, that's it. That's the name of this channel. So that's where it came from. This one comes from Stephen Bisbee. He says, "What are your thoughts on the Moto Iron Springer that TC Bros is currently selling?" I don't know. I looked it up. It says I think it's like $450. It's got like 40 reviews and they're all 5 stars, so it must not be that bad. I have zero experience with it. So I'm going to crowdsource this to y'all. Maybe somebody in the chat has some kind of input on that. This one comes to us from Spakeo is the username here. It's got a yellow, is that a Camaro? Anyways, he says, "What's your opinion on gear? My buddies make fun of me for wearing a jacket year-round. Also wear gloves and a helmet. I always wear a helmet. We don't have helmet laws here in South Carolina, but I still always wear one. I don't use my brain very often, but I like it in one piece. As far as other stuff, I should do better about wearing jackets and gloves. I have gloves, I have jackets, I have like the stuff with the armor in it that's CE rated and all that. It's hard in the summer though when it's 100 degrees and you're baking out there on the asphalt to want to be covered in gear. So if you want to wear it, go for it. I'm never going to make fun of somebody for wearing gear. I probably should do a better job about wearing gear, but we live 6 inches from the devil's doorstep, like 6 months out of the year here. So t-shirt it is for me often. South Carolina also has humidity. Yeah, it's miserable here. Go outside and choke on the air. The future Bachelor Harley says, your thoughts on the future of shovel heads. Will they become as desirable as knuckleheads, or if people won't even like them? I think people will always like shovel heads. I don't know if they'll ever be as desirable and expensive as knuckles, but they definitely ain't getting any cheaper. Pan heads have gotten out of control. I mean, that's nuts. I feel like any pan I see these days, like a basket case, is like $15,000. I'll never be able to own one. That's just out of my budget. So I don't think shovel heads will get that bad anytime soon, but who knows? Generator shovels are already really expensive. Scrolling through the phone, finding our next one. This is from Tom Hill. This was earlier today. He says, "Is the Sportster 48 a reliable bike? If so, which generation? 2010 to 15 or the 16 to 22? I don't know. That's too late for me to know about. I've never owned anything that new. Don't really work on anything that new. I don't even think I've ridden a Harley that new. I'm stopping to think about it. Some of my buddies' bikes that I've ridden. Yeah, I think the 48s are really cool looking. I really like the small tank on them, and they don't have the passenger pillion pad on them. They're just a seat, so they're kind of stripped down looking. I don't like the forward controls, but I think they're cool looking bikes. I'm sure they're probably pretty decent. Still Evo Sportster at the end of the day. Go back to the chat because I feel like I've missed stuff. Starlink is great. My friends have it in rural Alaska. I've heard good stuff about that. A friend of mine lives kind of up outside of Asheville, and they have that and seem to be happy with it so far. Tail of the Dragon. No, not on a motorcycle. I've done that in a car, but it was many years ago. This was like probably, I don't know, close to 15 years ago. Older Sportster with mid controls be converted to forward controls. Yep. Yep. You can pretty much put forward controls in anything. Not that I would, but I get it. If you're tall, forward controls make sense. My only thing I will say about forward controls is try and buy a good set that doesn't have a lot of slop in them. I think that's a big part of my hatred for them. Is so many bikes that come through my hands are that have forwards on them are just like a cheap, crappy set that have a lot of slop. So yeah. Ever think about building a full blown chopper? Yeah, I that's something that I would like to save until I have more space in a bigger shop. Someone had asked in the first stream before we lost internet about welding. So yeah, I can weld and I can fabricate and such and run a plasma cutter and etc. But I don't really have a spot to do that right now where I'm working in my little building behind the house. So eventually, here soon, whenever I can build a real shop, I'd like to dedicate a corner of that to just fab stuff. I'd like to have a tubing bender and um, a press drill and a little small benchtop lathe to make some small parts with, and then like set up a welding table and just have a place where I can, and a plasma cutter, have a place where I can cut and weld and fabricate. So whenever I do build like a full on chopper, I want it to be something that basically I've built from the ground up, and I don't have the facilities for that right now. Hey Steven, yeah, you missed it. I answered that a second ago about the Moto Iron Springer. I don't know anything about that personally. I've never used one. I looked it up very briefly, and it seems like it gets good reviews. So that's about all I can tell you. And maybe someone in the chat has something else. Go to some more questions. All that was my first list. Here's one comes to us from a fellow named Richard. It says, "Hi Paul, I enjoy your channel, especially the history videos. What are your thoughts on the current Harley culture and the woke CEO?" I got a bunch of questions like that on some of my earlier videos, and I still get that stuff sometimes as comments. And sort of my just like pat answer is that I don't really care. Um, I don't know. At the end of the day, current day Harley Davidson as a company is just like any other company. They're trying to make as much money as possible wherever they can make it. And if they think that they can make money by saying something or doing something, they're going to do it. And that's just kind of where I'm at on it. They're just after profit. So I don't really get too caught up in I don't care. I'm just gonna go keep riding old bikes and fixing old bikes. That's where I'm at. One from a fella named Tim. He says, um, "Here's a question for your live stream. What are some non-Harley bikes you would like to own?" That's funny. Like calling out specifically non-Harley. Um, I had a Honda Hornet, a 919. So it's basically a CBR 900. Just stripped down a little bit. It's a naked bike, doesn't have fairings on it, and the engine's detuned a little. That was a fantastic bike. I think that those were like right at 100 horsepower, a little bit more. Maybe they were like 105 with a 6 speed in it. Um, yeah, that bike had plenty of torque with still a lot of top end pull. I kind of regret selling that. I wouldn't mind having another one of those. That was a really fun bike to ride. You could power wheelie it through first gear into second. That was fun. Um, Other than that, as far as non-Harleys, um, I wouldn't mind a Ducati of some variety. I don't know why. I think the Desmodromic valve train is like just so stupid and interesting at the same time. So probably wouldn't actually buy one of those though, just because it's a Ducati. So yeah. Um, Interested in divorce sportsters. They're cool. I see them sometimes. I think they're sweet. I think it's pretty fun. I saw one for sale recently. I think it was let me see if I remember this right. It was on Facebook. I think it was just a frame with a front end and a back wheel, and it was set up for divorced Ironhead, and that was it. And it had a title. I don't remember how much the dude was asking, and I looked long and hard at that, and I was like, that might be a fun project. And then I talked myself out of it. What are your goals for the future of building your business? So I guess I need to sort of define my business at this point. Well, yeah, you probably don't care about everything I do for work. You're probably just asking about motorcycles, I would guess. As far as that goes, I need to get these 2 bikes I've got right now to flip. I need to get them finished over the winter, so come springtime, I can sell them and have some more money to roll into other projects or roll into a shop or something of that nature. Um, I would like to finally get to a point where I have a big enough shop where I can start taking in more customer work, where instead of it's me going to buy a bike, fixing it, and then flipping it, like right now, that's like 70% of my motorcycle business's income is flipping bikes, probably, I would say. Um, and then the rest of it is customer work and then YouTube. And then the web store, of course, selling like shirts and stuff. But yeah, I think once I had a big enough shop where I could actually take on, 3 or 4 or 5 customer bikes at a time, I would try and advertise more and hopefully take on some more customer work. So yeah, for the immediate future, that's probably where I'm at. What's your opinion on 1200 kits? Do they negatively affect reliability? No, I wouldn't say so. Assuming you do it right and buy some decent parts. I mean, it should be fine. Can you admit the Evo is a better engine than the Shovel? Yeah, absolutely. I've said that many times on this channel. It's by all accounts the better engine. It's the way that it bolts together is better. The cooling on it is better. Makes more power, runs longer, doesn't leak as much. I mean, by all measurable objective terms, it's the better engine. I still think a Shovelhead's cooler though. Bought a 2017 Sportster 1200 engine. Will it mount up in earlier frames that are pre-EFI and possibly pre-rubber mounted engines? I doubt you could stuff that into a rigid frame. Maybe you can. Again, that really late model stuff I don't know about. Could you put it in like, I don't know, in earlier frames that are pre-EFI? What year did the Sportster get EFI, y'all? Was it 07? I feel like I have that in my head for some reason. They got it in 07. Not a lot of Ducati tables at swap meets. That's right. Hey, Bang Chief, glad you made it. My buddy Sean says, will you do another live stream? That's actually, I forgot about this. I got so distracted by the internet crapping out. So, I love making just the regular videos that I put up for y'all to watch, but I also really like hearing feedback from y'all and just like trying to interact with y'all. It's pretty cool that I get to see a lot of the same names over and over and over comment on my stuff. So it's part of why I wanted to even do this live stream tonight. As far as doing another one, I have 2 ideas. One is I'd kind of like to do a reader's ride episode and do that sometime, maybe like the week between Christmas and New Year's. Everybody says that just feels like this weird twilight zone. You're out of work. A lot of people are off of work. And this one holiday is over and this one holiday hasn't started yet. And it's a couple of days where a lot of people are at home. And for those of y'all who live in colder places, maybe you're snowed in. So I thought about doing like a reader's ride thing, where maybe y'all submit some pictures and your name and where you're from and show me your bike. Like we could have like an online bike show in the winter months. So discuss if that's something y'all think would be cool. I also have thought about maybe doing some sort of like podcast style thing where I get other people on here to interview. So other YouTube motorcycle folks and then people who are just like in motorcycle land in general. I couldn't do that every week. I maybe could do it every other week. Like instead of doing a Wednesday regular episode like the shop talks or the vlogs, I could do like the Buttcrack Cycles live show or whatever. again, just bouncing some ideas around here. I think I could probably get people on here like Saddle Tramp as a guest. I bet Corey would probably do it, or Shovelhead Fedge Jeff. Maybe I could get him, or maybe Angel from Red Rider, or Sally and her husband, and once she starts healing up a little more from her wreck, and folks like that, and Hippie over at Hippie's Chopper Corner. I feel like I could probably, we could probably have a pretty fun guest list and just interview these people and ask them like, how'd you get into Harleys? What do you like about Harleys? What do you like about Harley culture? And just talk. So yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some more live stuff. I think it's fun. Let's go back in the chat. I think I got one more question left on the phone. Ideal. Yeah, this one, I think this guy's name is Josh based off the username. He says, I'm about your age. I'm 37, wanting to start writing to YouTube videos about my riding journey, looking at a Sportster for my first bike, but what kind of camera gear should I get for YouTube? You can literally start a YouTube channel with nothing but your phone. There's people who have like 1 million subscribers who don't do anything but their phone. I use a real camera just because that's what I like. I'm comfortable with a camera, and then I have like a GoPro, but you don't need any of that to start a YouTube channel. You just use what you have. And I think if you a lot of my earlier videos were shot with just my phone. So I think if you're making like good, authentic content that people want to watch and it's interesting and entertaining and informative, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Hey, I remember DFI on 07 and in a Sportster. I sometimes can remember stuff. Oh, thanks, 93. 93 Evo says, hit the like button for this guy's first time. Help keep this algorithm. Yeah, I don't worry too much about the algorithm. I do try and always do 2 episodes a week just because I think the YouTube algorithm prioritizes consistency, but I don't know. How's a chopper bobber scene in your area? Where I live, like my actual town, but I'm not very far from Charlotte, and yeah, there's definitely a lot going on there. That's where Prism Supply is from. They're out of Charlotte, so Prism Supply and Dice Magazine, definitely big chopper stuff. If you've never grabbed a Dice Magazine, well, cover there might. Oh no, I probably can't get monetized now, but that probably tells you everything you need to know. And there's some cool bikes in there, and I don't know. Yeah, but these guys are out of Charlotte, so not too far from me is a pretty cool chopper scene. Yeah. Understanding correct, there's overlap in Ironhead Evo sports years like 85-ish through 96-ish. 85 was the last year of the Ironhead. That was it. It was done. And then Evo Sportster came out in 86. The late model Evo frame is basically the same as the early. I mean, I said that backwards. The late model Ironhead frame is basically the same as the early Evo frame. I think it's 83 to 85 Ironhead frame. You can put an Evo engine in. They are different than like an 82 and earlier. They're a little bit taller, and the frame geometry is a little bit different. Metric Life says, do you follow any of the Japanese channels like Infinity Cycle, Unroof, etc.? There's one I follow. I can't remember the dude's name. A lot of his videos are, he's got like this pretty cool little bobber, and a lot of his videos have no commentary to them. It's just video of him working on the bike, and then sort of like, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe just like some scenery, some video of the scene, like the whatever's going on outside the window, and then he'll go ride his motorcycle around. It's kind of like calm and relaxing. So yeah. Ever think about going to Fuel Cleveland, put on and lowbrow? Maybe. I would really like to go to I'd like to go to I'm drawing a blank here. I'd like to go to the Vintage Soul show that's up there in the Midwest. Born Free in Texas seems pretty cool. Party at the Pen seems pretty cool. I'd probably like to go to that. Yeah, there's some other ones. Mama Tried. Yep. That would be cool. Yep. I just was checking my phone again, making sure. So I'm caught up. I've got all the questions that anybody has asked, whether it's been an email or it has been on as a comment on a video. So I think I'm probably gonna wrap this up. This has gone on longer than I thought. It's almost 9 o'clock, and Kenneth is still awake. I told him he could stay up late while I did this. Full tip boogie. Thanks, Taylor. I'm sorry. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. Is that in Minneapolis or is it in St. Paul? It's one or the other. All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm sorry about our technical glitch there earlier, but Tommy, hey, we're just Tommy, you probably didn't see what someone just wrote above you. Girthquake, he wrote, "You meet a lot of great people at these chopper shows and a lot of builders." And it's Lauren Truesdale in the chat, but that's Tommy Truesdale. And Tommy's one of the very first people I ever met in person from my YouTube channel. I met him at the Congregation show last year, maybe it was even 2 years ago. And Tommy just shouted out, "Hey, Buttcrack!" And he came over to me and gave me a hug like he had known me for years. And we just got talking and just talked and talked and talked. So yeah, he's someone who's been on this channel for a long time and always leaves a comment. And yeah, that's one of my favorite things about doing this channel is meeting people in real life. April says hi. I'm a real bagger. Yeah, sorry to be. I got to wrap this up though. In any event, so thanks for anybody who's made it. Thanks for all y'all. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I got to go put Kenneth to bed and put myself to bed shortly after that. It's almost my bedtime too. Fun. Thanks. Cool. Bye. Peace, y'all. Appreciate it. Thanks all for all of y'all. Y'all have a good night. See ya.